Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica. I have been reading a lot of posts lately from Silver Sisters who are at the beginning of their transition to gray hair, who are struggling to get past the first few months. I was in that same position 4 years ago. I know how it feels. There were a few things that I did to help speed up my hair growth and to help make my transition to gray hair a lot easier. So I'm going to share a few tips with you, and hopefully that will help make your transition to gray hair easier too. So it all starts right here at your scalp. The health of your scalp is going to determine how fast your hair grows. If your scalp has product buildup from oil and dirt and sweat, this is going to clog your scalp and your hair follicles, which results in slower hair growth. We need to do more than just shampoo our hair to get rid of the buildup on our scalp. So I'm going to share what I did, and most of this is what I still do now that I have been fully transitioned to gray hair. So one of the biggest changes I made when I started transitioning to gray hair is I started to give myself scalp massages for at least 5 minutes a day. There are so many benefits to scalp massages, but for this video I'm just going to focus on hair growth. Scalp massages not only strengthen the hair follicles, but it helps loosen buildup on our scalp and stimulates hair growth. I love to do scalp massages in the shower because you immediately wash off any loose buildup on your scalp. So when you do a scalp massage, make sure to use the tips of your fingers, not your fingernails, and you want to gently but firmly massage your scalp in a circular motion. So you want to work your way throughout your entire scalp, so that way you can loosen up any buildup that is on your scalp and hair follicles. Be sure not to use your fingernails because they could damage your hair follicles. Another thing that I love to do is double shampoo. The first shampoo is going to loosen up any buildup on your scalp and hair follicles. And the second shampoo is going to wash away any leftover buildup that was left on from the first wash. And it's also going to clean your hair, and the nutrients that your shampoo provides will be able to penetrate your scalp and nourish it. Another thing to do to keep your scalp free from buildup is to clarify once a month. This is done to deep clean your scalp. It's going to remove any buildup that is on there. This is something that I did not use when I was transitioning to gray hair, but I wish I had. It did not cross my mind at the time. It is definitely worth the investment. Use a shower head water filter or get a whole house water softener. This will prevent any hard water buildup. If you cannot do that, you can get a hard water shampoo and conditioner, which will prevent buildup. So that is all there is to it. If you keep your scalp free from buildup, that's going to allow your hair to grow faster. If your scalp is clogged with buildup, that is going to slow down or stunt your hair growth. So now I'm going to share a few tips on how to make your gray hair transition a little easier. Just take lots of photos. I know you've heard this from everybody, but seriously, take lots of photos. Not only so that you can have something to look back at later, but also so you can track your progress. There were times when I felt like my hair hadn't grown and I was feeling discouraged and I didn't think I was going to make it to the end, and then I would pull out my photos that I had been taking and compare, and I was just blown away by how much hair growth I had. I could not believe it, and that really lifted my spirits. It motivated me to keep going, and I didn't want to give up because just looking at photos really made me realize that there is progress being made, even though you can't tell. When you have something to look at and compare, it really does make a difference. You have a visual to see the changes. When you have those photos, it really does help motivate you, and it helps keep you moving forward. Another thing to help make your gray hair transition easier is to stop using hair products with dye in it. Hair products with dye in it can discolor your hair, and your hair won't look as bright. You know how when you're just starting your gray hair transition and you see that little white line and it's really bright and white, but as your hair starts to grow out a little more, it doesn't look as bright as it did in the beginning. One reason could possibly be that your hair is being discolored by the hair products that you're using. Now that you know that hair products could discolor your hair, switch over to hair products that do not have any dye in it. Just because the product looks white does not mean it is free from dye. So always look at the ingredients. The only thing that I used with color in it was purple shampoo. So the purple shampoo is going to neutralize any yellow tones, and it's going to keep your hair nice and bright. I started using my purple shampoo at about 3.5 to 4 months. I had a huge growth spurt around that time, and I had noticed that my hair was starting to look like an off-white color. It wasn't as bright as it was before. And for me, I believe it was because of the hard water. So I started using purple shampoo to brighten up my hair, and that just really made my hair look so pretty and white, and it kept me motivated to keep moving forward. Had I not been using the purple shampoo, I probably would not have thought my hair was going to look as pretty somebody, I probably would have thought, oh, it's not as bright as I thought, and I probably would have been a little disappointed throughout my whole transition. I know a lot of ladies who will post photos on Facebook or Instagram and say, oh, my hair looks like a mousy gray, or it doesn't look as bright, and I was really hoping that it was brighter. Well, it could possibly be that their hair has some discoloration. So use a purple shampoo to brighten up your gray, and that's going to make you feel a whole lot better. Purple shampoo really helped me feel better about my hair. For the first 3 months, I used a root cover-up spray. This really was just a huge lifesaver for me. It really made that time a lot easier because, as you know, the first 3 months is when you just have that little line. Some people refer to it as a skunk line, and it just looks like you haven't gotten around to coloring your hair. So I used the cover-up spray to help me get through the hardest time. In my opinion, that was the most difficult time, and I was able to use it for the first 3 months. I actually used it for 3.5 months. I saw a photo online of the back of my head, and you could tell that I was trying to cover up the gray. There was just too much growth, and it was not covering the gray anymore. I should have stopped at 3 months. I did go an extra 2 weeks, and it did not work out, and I wish somebody had pointed it out to me, but nobody said anything. But it looked like I was wearing a toupee. I have no idea why the root cover-up spray does not stain gray hair. It didn't stain mine. I've never heard of it staining anybody else's gray hair. Maybe it has. I haven't heard about that, but it worked for me, and I did not have any discoloration or any residue left behind because of that. This is one of the reasons why we use the clarifying shampoo and we do the massages to get rid of that buildup from stuff like that. So I did use a lot of root cover-up spray, but I was able to wash it out and keep my scalp free from that buildup. Don't use semi or demi-permanent dye. I almost did this. I'm not sure how far along I was. I know I was kind of far along, long enough to where I didn't want to start over. But I was at the store, I had the box in my hand, I started reading the instructions, and it said that if you had a certain amount of percentage of gray, that it wouldn't work. And I had more than that percentage. I don't remember exactly what the percentage was, but I didn't want to waste my money, and I just went and I put the box back. I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I read those directions. I'm so glad I put the box back, because later, as I was doing research, I started to read a lot of complaints from a lot of silver sisters who had gone down that route, and it stained their hair, and it was very difficult to get it out. Some ladies had to start their whole transition over again, because even though some of it came out, all of it didn't. And I don't know about you, but I would not want to start all over again. That was just a long process, and having to start over and go through it all over again, I would not want to do that. So I personally would not take the chance, and I don't think that you should either, but in the end it's up to you on what you want to do. But if you are going to add some color to your hair, maybe to blend the grays or add some highlights, lowlights, go to a professional, go to somebody who is experienced in working with gray hair, and make sure that whomever you go to does not touch your gray hair. So another thing to do is get a haircut or a trim every 6 to 8 weeks. Whenever I went to the salon to get my hair cut, or even just a trim, I would walk out feeling like $1,000,000. Like, I felt wonderful. I felt great. My hair felt bouncy and healthy. And it was even getting me just a little bit closer to my goal, which was, to have my hair fully gray. That just really made all the difference, because I felt so much better. Another thing to do is style your hair to blend the gray with the dyed areas. When I see ladies do this, where they're styling their hair so they can show not just the gray, but also the dyed areas, I think it looks so beautiful. It really does. I've seen several ladies who braid their hair, and it just looks so gorgeous. I just recently saw a lady on, I think it was Instagram, and she kind of twisted her hair and pulled her hair back like this with the dyed areas and the gray showing, and it looked gorgeous. I had a lot of white up here, and then of course the growth underneath. And I love to pull my hair just halfway up, so that way you can see the gray underneath and then the gray up on top. Another thing that I like to do was I like to pull my hair back in a ponytail. It kind of pulled back a lot of the dyed areas, and a lot of the hair growth was near my temples. And so when I pulled my hair back, it looked like I was fully transitioned. And my ponytail was dyed, but everything else was white. You can also pull your hair up in a bun. I used to love doing that, where it's all white and it's just a nice dark brown bun. You can even get one of those little clips where you can kind of hide it. There's just so many things that you can do to change it up and make it fun. I had a lot of fun with just playing around with my hair. That's what this is all about, right? Going through a journey, having fun with it, enjoying yourself, embracing those grays. Those are the things that I did to help my hair grow faster and help me get through the hardest part of my transition. So I'm hoping these tips were helpful to you. If there's something that you have done that helped make your transition easier or help make your hair grow faster, please let us know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel so you can watch more videos like this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!